Okay.
1, 2, go.
Welcome to the Kat Kanavos Show, everyone. We've got a great show for you tonight. It's actually the Dr. Oz reunion show. Premonitions. What do you think of when you hear the word premonitions or sixth sense? Well, we have all of the people who were on Dr. Oz's show, The Sixth Sense, Premonitions, shocking premonitions, on the show with us today, including Amy Newmark, who is the publisher of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And so we were actually on Dr. Oz with Chicken Soup for the Soul, and we were talking about shocking premonitions and dreams. And my book, Surviving Cancerland, The Intuitive Aspects of Healing, was one of the stories from the Chicken Soup for the Soul book that had attracted Dr. Oz's attention. So tonight on the show, we have Amy Newmark, who is the publisher of all the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. We've got Kelly Sullivan Walden, who published one of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, Dreams and Premonitions, and she's going to be publishing another book with Amy Newmark about dreams and the unexplained. But we're going to save that for the end. And then we also have Lynn Darmon with us, and she's going to be talking about the premonition that she had about her daughter dying in her arms. And we're all here for the Dr. Oz reunion. So welcome, everyone.
Hey, thanks for having us. This is so much fun. It was so great to meet you there at the Dr. Oz show behind the scenes, and to meet Lynn for the first time also. And Kelly and I had a sleepover party the night before. So it was all wonderful. Really a fun time.
A sleepover ironing party.
That's true. I was ironing. That's true. I was doing wardrobe. I was her publisher and I was her valet.
My personal valet. I
Yeah,
feel so
I should say it
fancy.
the British way. I was your valet.
My valet.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about really behind the scenes of the reunion of the Dr. Oz, it was about like, Kelly, you're not going to wear that. There are way too many wrinkles. I'm going to iron it for you. Like,
I'm
okay.
publisher and I'm your ironing person. Absolutely. We do everything.
Have you ever ironed any of your other authors' clothing?
No, but I bet I will, because people do tend to stay with me if they're coming into the city.
And traveling does make for wrinkled clothes. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I know it's all a metaphor. The wrinkles and ironing it all out. That was part of what we did on the show.
That's true. We ironed out the wrinkles in our life because our dreams and premonitions helped us to do that. That was actually the iron.
I think one thing that I just want to blurt out is that I had so much, I already had respect for Dr. Oz, but I had more after our show, because I really felt and had like a paradigm shift, because mostly I think of people that have an instinct or an insight about their illness. Usually they get poo-pooed by the medical community, and it's almost like there's this them versus us kind of a thing. But I really felt the sincerity of Dr. Oz wanting, on behalf of every doctor, wanting success for their patients, even if the methodology is a little bit strange or unorthodox. I think they really want you to be well. And him speaking on behalf of, I'm sure, some of the other medical doctors out there, people in the profession that really honor intuition and premonitions. And so I left there feeling really hopeful for our planet and for this whole issue.
Who knows their body better than a doctor? I mean, than the patient, right? When you tell a doctor, you're feeling it. There's no one else inhabiting your body except for yourself. So a good doctor will listen.
And that brings out female intuition, which is what Lynn's whole story was about. Lynn, you went with your female intuition concerning your child. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. First, I have to say that I totally agree with what Kelly was just saying about Dr. Oz bringing this to the forefront, because I think that right now it's so important to bring, we were always talking about the medical issues and science and the metaphysical, and somebody needs to bridge that gap. It's time to bring all of this into the mainstream. So I totally agree with Kelly on that point. I think that's really important. Yeah, so my story started with my daughter when she was born. I'd had a premonition while I was pregnant with her that something was going to happen to her after she was born. And I was sort of in the back of my mind, I guess, kind of in denial, but at the same time preparing myself. And around the time that she turned 10 days old, I had a really bad vision. I had a vision that I was holding her, but she had a white sheet over her. And I was actually looking at myself holding her in the mirror while I was nursing her that one morning. And that's when I saw it, when I had this vision in the mirror. And I started taking her from one emergency room to the other at the risk of them wanting me to be evaluated by a psychiatrist. But at the end of the day, she did end up having a primary peritonitis, which resulted in her having pretty extensive abdominal surgery. And so, I'm glad that I listened to my gut. I'm glad I listened to my intuition, and it could have been a very, very different outcome.
It's amazing, that psychiatric evaluation, because I know that when I finally went to the doctors in New York to actually get a double mastectomy, because I had had enough with having breast cancer twice already that was missed by the medical community. And it's really important to understand that our doctors are in the line of work that they're in because they love their patients, they love their work, and they want to help people. So, but I think that there's the shift that's happening is the fact that sometimes medicine or the tests that the medical community uses go so far, and then our intuition kicks in. Right. And so by using both of those together, instead of just choosing one over the other, you have a healing that's stronger than its individual parts. And that is what was so amazing to me, that Dr. Oz was open to that, was open to the fact that, yes, there might be another answer, because my doctors wanted me to also have a psychiatric evaluation for wanting to have, a double mastectomy, because I realized I couldn't do chemo again. I couldn't do radiation again. And if I came down with the breast cancer a third time, which my guides told me I had, I was going to be in big trouble. The treatment would kill me quicker than the disease. And so I had to go with that intuition. So, Amy, you are the publisher of the Chicken Soup for the Soul book, Dreams and Premonitions. What made you decide to go with a book like this?
So it's really important for me because I believe so much that we have inside us everything that we need to improve our lives. And I believe that we can be the mechanics of our own lives. And one of those tools is our dreams. And I've always believed that dreams are just us telling ourselves stuff that we're too busy to pay attention to during the day. And Kelly and I have had long talks about that. And so I believe that the Dreams and Premonitions book fits perfectly into the Chicken Soup for the Soul universe, because it's all about how you can use your own powers to help yourself. And I really believe that dreams are us telling ourselves things we already know. You knew you had breast cancer, and while you were sleeping, Kat, your body was saying, it's right here. This is where you need to look. And during your waking hours, you were so busy and there were distractions that you didn't necessarily hear what your subconscious already knew. So I very much believe in listening to our dreams. And I believe it's part of the whole Chicken Soup for the Soul package for empowering our readers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's go back now to we're on Dr. Oz. And what was one of the things that struck you when you got out there, Lynn? You were on there by yourself for a while. We were just kind of watching in the backgrounds or whatever. What did you feel, and what was kind of surprising to you, if anything?
It was interesting because the moment I got on, I totally felt like the energy was so welcoming. Mm-hmm. And it was not an oppositional, it was not energy that was going to say, no, this isn't real, this is real. It wasn't going to be like a two-way thing. It was just very welcoming and very, you could feel that not only Dr. Oz, but his entire staff embraced this whole thing. And it made it so much easier. It made it wonderful.
Were you ever worried that you were going to be stuck in a gotcha moment? Because we see that on TV a lot.
Yeah, quite honestly, I had that moment before on national TV. So I did have that little what if this happens again. So it was very, very different than my former experience. And I could tell that right away. So I was put completely at ease. It was wonderful. And then having met you ladies before coming on was amazing. You know, in the green room, we were having a great time.
We were partying back there.
It's like a cocktail party.
I know, it was so much fun.
It's true. And you know, the next book that's coming out that Amy just showed us, Kelly, I think it was just before you popped on with us. Look at that. That is gorgeous.
This is our cover for the next one that's coming out this fall. We're still collecting stories, dreams, premonitions, and the unexplainable.
I'm so excited.
Cover. This looks like a dream, doesn't it?
It does.
It does.
And we're going to have Lynn in there, and
wonderful.
Yeah. And another cat story.
Yeah. Well, my cat story, actually, I decided at the last minute to pull in Dr. Oz because that was a little unexplainable, because I don't know if you know this, Amy, and I know our audience doesn't know this, but I was contacted by the producers of the Dr. Oz. And then different producers contacted Kelly. And then I emailed Kelly and said, had you been contacted? And she said, yeah, but I don't think I'm going to be on. So I didn't pursue it anymore. And then it turns out that when we were on together, the producers didn't realize we knew each other, or that I was in the Chicken Soup for the Soul book. And we all came together on the Dr. Oz show, and that was truly unexplainable.
That's great.
Because they were all going, you guys know each other? And we're like, yeah, we're on the same book. And they're, oh my gosh, we had no idea.
It's a small but beautiful world that we're all dancing in.
So Kelly, what was your, what did you feel when you got on there? What I know you'd been on Dr. Oz before, so this was like coming back to somewhere you'd been before. So you already felt a little more comfortable probably than we did, because we weren't really sure what to expect.
Well, there was a couple of things. I think Dr. Oz, I mean, I've done a lot of TV and, local and some national, but Dr. Oz is just top notch all the way. I mean, from the dressing rooms to just everything about it feels like Broadway. So there's definitely a level of like, wow. And look at that audience in front of us, behind us, on the sides, and all the cameras. It's like, okay, just stay focused and be present. And, coming out on the stage after I already knew your story, Kat. I've told your story. If I had $1 for every time I've told your story, I'd be a bazillionaire. I tell your story all the time. I wave a feather. I have my own white feather that I talk about. But then yes, you do. I knew about Lynn's story, but getting to hear it and see the video diary that they put together on it, it was just all I could do to keep from sobbing. Is I kind of go from one extreme to the next. Either I'm buttoned up and kind of like, oh, I'm fine, and kind of up here, or I'm just and I felt the floodgates open. I was like, oh God, Kelly, hold it together. It was so moving. It was just, one of the things that was so moving to me was hearing about your baby and the fact that you saved her life because of your intuition. And then they said, and here's the baby. And I was expecting to see this baby, but I see this young woman, and you see her bright, shiny eyes, and you see that she is a grown-up. This story didn't happen last week. This happened a long time ago. Right. And she's alive. Here I go. She's alive with a fiance, she's got a whole life that this wouldn't.